Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and we got ourselves a 6 zone audio system that we're going to be installing at a church that will provide 6 inputs of different audio, and then we can run speakers to different zones and have a total of 6 zones so they can play the same thing or different things. And this is what we're going to be installing at TCF Ministry at the church in Ashburn, Virginia. So let's go ahead and take a look at this whole setup. So right now, this is the Dayton Audio system, which is the DAX66. It is 6 inputs and it supports 6 zones. So 6 set of speakers, well, not 6 sets of speakers, but multiple speakers in certain environments, in certain zones, rooms, and stuff like that, that will allow you to have different zones of audio in different places. So I already have it unboxed because I was testing it myself to figure this whole thing out. So let me, oh, and it's a little heavy. So if I flip it over here so that you can see the back, we have 6 zones of speakers where you will connect. You have 12 volt DC trigger outputs, IR emitters, so you can hook all this other stuff to different zones and control it from back here. Um, Mute, you also can daisy chain these, so you can have a ribbon cable connect these back and forth. Ethernet cable that I have here, we'll talk about what that is for. RS-232 control, power. You got, this is where you can set the dip switch of what it is when you're daisy chaining them. And then you also have preamps. So say this doesn't put out enough power for you, you can hook this up to an output to a amp to give more power for the speakers. Hopefully I won't need to do that in this setup, but we are prepared if we have to do that. And you have 6 different inputs for audio, RCA in for 4 of them, and then you got 2 3.5, and you also have a digital input. Now, if we flip it around on the front, pretty much real simple, just a power button, and then you got 6 standby modes and 6 peak LEDs to show if you're sending too much to that given zone. Now, also, how this works is you're going to have an actual panel that goes on the wall, like a little control that you can control everything. So you have 6 of these, 6 zones. So if we look in and punch in here, inside of this fits a standard 1 gang box, junction box, and that's what, if you watch the TCF, you'll see where this is going to go. Got a power, left, right, you got your volume up and down, and then once it's powered on, you can select, and then there's your IR reader if you were using a remote to send the signal. Say this was connected to like a music player or something like that. These have been installed in like restaurants, stores, and different zones. And these could be installed in a home as well too. It doesn't really matter the type. And I'm gonna actually set both of these aside. Now let's cut back and look over here. When you look back here, you have dip switches here to set what zone this is going to be. Hopefully I can get it in focus so you can see. So back here, and you would just switch that to which one. So right now this is set to 1 and this is set to 1. So we need to change this to 2. So that would be on, off, and on. So that would be by default what this goes to. Now, it does have a little connector that we would use, and they recommend that you use Cat6 or Ethernet cable for that. That's why we ran that in the walls for this. And all we got to do is we're only going to use 3 of the 4 twisted pair. We'll connect them. The brown we don't use, and we'll connect it to that. Now, all of these junctions go back to the home plate here that we just connect back here. And then on the front is one Ethernet cable. This is what connects to the back. That's the white cable that I had disconnected from the back, right there. All right. So let's go ahead and hook this up. Now, I am going to use my phone for 2 of these. Now, how we're going to be using this is I have a with a SQ5 is the mixer that they're going to be using. We're going to set up a separate mix for the live stream and for external. So we're going to connect that, and I have a dual XLR to RCA input. That is going to go mainly into input number one, because that's the audio that we want to have everywhere. Now, we have other cables that are going to feed audio from classroom one and two. So that's going to give us sources of audio there. So we're going to have the live stream be zone number one. That's what's going to come in for everything by default. Then we also have classroom number one, classroom number two, and then we still have three more inputs. So we might have some music go there. And then we still have two other inputs that at a later time might be used. So to simulate this, I am going to connect my phone as one source of input there. And then I have a long and horrible hookup just to get this working. But this is the RCA to XLR cable, dual XLR cable that I have, but I don't have a mixer to do this. So we switch it all of this just to go back to another 3.5 connection. Now, where is my connection for that? Oh, it's right here in front of me. So we're going to connect this, and we'll hook my iPhone up to the other one. So this will be input number two. Now, I'm not a big speaker person, but this configuration, we're going to be daisy chaining a couple of speakers off of this. And from the manual, it says to have speakers that are 4 to 8 ohms. Ours is 4.8, so we're good. Ceiling speakers that we're using some Polk 8-inch ceiling speakers that was kind of recommended with this setup. And I didn't show inside of it, but there's the remote that we can change the settings. Got our plates. There's the ribbon cable if we were going to daisy chain these to a bunch of sets. Don't think we're going to be needing that at all. And then our plates to cover all of these when we put this on the wall. So I'm only going to hook up 2 of these. I'm not going to use the remote because I'm not going to hook up the remote part. Let's set this aside. And I already had some Ethernet cable that I had here. And to hook this up, we just spliced it. And again, we're not using the brown connections for that. So let's go ahead and punch in and let's connect this real quick. Now, you do have to pull off some of the insulation in here so that you can get this. So let's untwist these. And there is an order that you have to follow that's in the manual, which I obviously do not have memorized off the top of my head. I think it's like this, or I know the orange is in the middle. At least I believe the orange is in the middle. These have to be lined up the exact same way. So it doesn't matter as long as they go into these the exact same way, you're good. And that's on both ends. And I need to look and see what order that is. So actually, I was wrong. It was green first. Orange was in the middle. Blue was at the end. So they'll be in that order. So let's strip off a little bit of this insulation on here. And then I'm going to do that on all the cables. And then let's hook this up and then let's test the audio out. Alrighty, we got everything terminated on here. So all we got to do is snap these in, connect these there and that. Now you do not have to connect power to these either. It's going to send power over these. And then we'll just connect this back here. And that's it. Now let me get these situated so we can actually use them. We'll just set them to the side for right now. All right. Now let me connect this other speaker here. Again, really straightforward. Just connect the red and the blacks here. And then these are going to be, like I said, speakers are going in the ceiling. Now you can have left and right coming off of these, and that's how we're actually going to do them. So it's 6 zones, total for 2 speakers each, total of 12. So some of the zones that we're going to have, like I said, we got 2 speakers in the classroom, another 2 in classroom number 2. That's 2 zones right there. That's 2. Then we have the hallway, that's outside of the classroom. That's gonna be 2 speakers there, or so that'll be 2. That'll be zone number 3. Then the bathrooms, Imma have both of those connected, so that'll be zone number 4 that goes to there. Gotta figure out how we'll do those. And then we have 2 speakers that are in the entrance. That's gonna be up there, so that's gonna be 2. We might move that to 4 speakers. Nah, only 2 should be fine. So we have those. So that's going to be zone 5. And then we have the entrance in the pastor's office. That'll be another 2 speakers. That'll be 6. All right. So let's connect this here. And I'm going to simulate this being zone like 1. And then we have another one here that's going to be our zone number 2. And I didn't make long cables because I didn't want to waste cables on some other stuff that I need for the actual install. So I just got real short ones here. And thankfully, we're going to be playing some music that either I wrote or it's going to be from my YouTube channel, so we don't have to worry about the audio. All right, so now we got everything plugged in. We're just going to go ahead and hit power. And then as you can see, we got these lit up for power. We just hold down there, and there's our controls, and we do have our different zones. So now let's go ahead and hook up my phone. We're going to play some stuff through here. I'm going to play my live stream, the last live stream. Let's skip forward some so we can get to the audio. So by default, both of them are getting zone 1. So if I turn this down, so this is zone 1, that's this one. And then this one, we turn this down. All right, there we go. So that's controlling for both. Now, let me break out my other phone and let's get some other audio going into zone 2. All right. So I am now playing some music on here, back from my college days when I was writing some music. So if I turn this up again, that's still the main audio or for the live stream. That's going to both. Now on here, I'm going to go ahead and change this to source number 2. So if I get close, that's 1. And that's 2nd. So we have 2 completely different zones here. So the idea is, say there's a class and they don't want to have, say, children's church or something like that. They have something in the classroom for the kids and maybe teens. They have a divider inside there and they can press the selector for what's going to be the audio in that room and say they want to hook up something to the TV or something like that. That's how they'll get audio, which reminds me, I need to get the connector to take audio from the TV to send it to this. So anyway, so they can pick the audio for the room, set that source for the given room, and then that's what they will hear in that given room, but everybody else will be fine. Now, the controls really is just going to be classroom 1 and 2, and then maybe the pastor's office, that's 3, and then the other controls we're not really using. I might, well, actually, no, I'm not going to put it there because I don't have a cable ran to like the entrance or something like that. We only have it in the pastor's office and the 2 classrooms, and then we can always hook up one there in the media booth because they can use a control to control everything if need be. So that is pretty much it. A nice little set of equipment. Again, this could be used at a home. This has been used in restaurants. So again, we're going to have a speaker in each one of the bathrooms, the hallways, the classroom, the entrance, and then also inside of the exit in the back of the church, front and back. So all of those at any given time can always play the exact same thing, or out of whatever inputs that we decide to grow into this. Like I said, main number one is going to be coming from the mixer, so in the house when everybody's talking, but then we could always hook up whatever you want to have, like a Spotify or something, or a computer hooked up that always playing music. If you want to, that is an option. You can do that for the entrance and the exit and whatever. So that's about it. Link is down below if you're interested in getting one of these. We're going to be installing this next week at TCF, so I'll take you along with me. And again, we've already ran the infrastructure for this already, so that makes this easy. All I got to do is cut some holes in the ceiling, in one, two, three, four, five, in no, wait a minute, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, in 8 locations. That's just downstairs. Everything else is going to be in drop ceilings, so those should be very easy compared to all of the rest of this. So I think that's about it. So if you have any other questions, let me know down below. And that's it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.